Welcome back to Just Books. Prize-winning journalist Rahul Pandita, well known for books such as Hello Buster, The Untold Story of India's Maoist Movement, is just out with a new book. It's about the flight of Kashmiri pundits from the valley, and indeed, as you can tell from his name, he's one. The book is called Our Moon Has Blood Clots. It's a very moving, poignant, deeply felt tale. You were 14 years old, a schoolboy in Srinagar when the insurgency blew up in the late 80s, 89, and you describe what the first tremors of it were for your family. Your father worked with the irrigation department, your mother was a health worker, your father had put all his provident fund to build this small house in Srinagar, and suddenly your world, their world, the world of your family and relatives began to fall apart. What was it like as a young man to feel that sort of silent growing earthquake?
The idea of house has been very important for all Kashmiris. Back then we didn't have any fixed deposits or Indira Vikas Patras or mutual funds. Any middle class Kashmiri would put all his money in a house. So the idea of home was really important for us. And it was really painful leaving everything, our home and hearth, back in 1990 when it all began. It really began from the night of 19th January 1990, when people from majority community, ordinary people, assembled in these mosques all across valley in that rabid frenzy of Azadi from India, which also meant a lot of anti-Pandit slogans coming from the mosque. I could quote just one very dangerous slogan which was vented out at us, which in Kashmiri goes, Asigas Pannui Pakistan Batta Rusti Batnan, which essentially means that we want our Pakistan without Pandit men, but with their women. So after that, we weren't left with a choice but to flee to safety. And the exodus really began from the next morning, 20th January 1990, where brother couldn't tell his brother that he was leaving, a friend couldn't tell his friend he was leaving, a colleague couldn't tell his colleague that he was leaving.
Yours is both a historical story through Kashmir's long and convoluted history of how the two communities have sometimes been very well integrated, but also depending on whether there was Muslim rule or Hindu and Dogra rule, there were reprisals against both the communities. There was always integration, given Kashmir's very strong Sufi culture, and also a degree of separation. But the first indicators that you describe as a young man, for example, you say your mother came home one day from work, and on a bus, she had heard a Muslim woman scream at a Pandit woman saying, why is she being allowed? She should be thrown out of the bus. How did that affect you, those first signs?
I think it was, we felt very scared, very frightened because of those indicators, which started coming to us really from 86 onwards, when these, very unfortunate communal riots broke out in Anantnag in South Kashmir, where a lot of Kashmiri Pandits, their houses were ransacked, burned.
And the killings began.
Raped. And the killings began a couple of years later, from 1989 onwards, when Kashmiri Pandits became targets of very selective and brutal killing. Ordinary people being killed on the roads. Now when you go back to that narrative, they say that only those Kashmiri Pandits who were with the intelligence agency or with the police or in the government service were killed. But that's not true. Kashmiri Pandits from all hues, from all jobs were killed. There were shopkeepers, there were doctors, there were nurses, there were teachers, there were professors, all of them innocent people, brutalized, killed. Women like Girjatiku gang raped in a moving car and then cut alive on a mechanical saw. So after that brutality, we weren't left with a choice.
With the rise of the JKLF, with the kidnap and release of Rubaiya Sayed.
Yes, that's right. Those days were very dark for us. It was like being in a Art Spiegelman graphic novel called Mouse, where you're startled all the time. You don't know what's going to happen, whether they'll turn against you, will set your house to fire.
India's #1 news app. Just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.